Hey, I'm going to show you how to set up your webinar to connect to Unbounce. So anyway, let's start the first webinar. So basically, we'll just have to schedule a webinar. I'm just going to call it test from now. So basically, I'm making a webinar. Call it test. Put description in here. Fill it out as if you would any other webinar. And again, this is branding. Nothing new or different in any of this. Now on here, the registration part is a little bit different because on the registration you have to make sure that the fields that are required are only the fields that you're sending through. Otherwise, if there's a required field that you're not sending through, it won't register the user. So make sure that you have all these checked so that at least it's available for the one if you're going to use them. And again, you have to just uncheck all the required fields because everything will get sent through anyway. So anyway, that's just the gotcha on the go to webinar. Just make sure not everything is required that you're not sending through. So basically, we just send or save and send an email invitation. And again, this sends an email invitation to the owner of the account, which doesn't do anything. But the big thing that we're going to want to grab is the ID. So we scroll all the way down to find it. Now there's a couple ways to grab the webinar key. You'll see if you click on edit of any of these, you just click on edit here. And you just have to grab the webinar key from up here. It's just 466, whatever this one is. So anyway, that's all you need to grab from here. If you've already set up the webinar, basically you can just go into this registration page and just change the required fields. So if you already have one, you just click on this edit registration right here and you can just take off those required fields. So this one has country required, which you send it over anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So anyway, we just have to grab that webinar ID, and I already have it. It is the number that we grabbed. So basically, we just grab that. Again, it's right here. We go over to Unbounce, and inside of Unbounce, now to save some time, I already created one. I just created a test page. You just go to create new page and just click create, create, name the page. But inside of here, we just click on this test one. We go inside to edit the page. Now inside of here we just have this field, so this first name, last name, email. I added state, country, and phone number to it. The reason I added first name and last name instead of just general name is because GoToWebinar changes them up, so it doesn't just have one field, it has two, a first and a last name field. So you'll have to make sure on this one to change it to first and last name, not just full name, because they have full name when it starts. So anyway, I just added the drop-down menu of state, and I added the drop-down menu of country, and I added the phone number field right over here. And that's basically it. You just click done. You can make it look however you want. This part doesn't really matter. Just make sure that you have the fields that you're trying to send over on this form. When we close that editor, I'm not going to save it because it doesn't matter. Now here's where the magic happens. Basically, on your account, you'll see in each page, it has leads and form integrations. So what yours is going to be, it's going to be the webhook post to URL. So you're just going to want to click on this. Now I already have it configured in here, but basically I'm sending you an email that has the post on it. So basically we'll just take this one. The only thing that we'll have to switch out is this webinar ID right here. And we switch it out with the webinar ID that we had grabbed earlier. So basically to set that one up, we just click here, grab the other webinar key that we had before, which was right here. Now we go to continue, and that basically hooks that portion up. Now we need to configure the field mapping. Now what the configure field mapping does is it maps whatever names you named it on the page with the names that we actually have to send through to go to webinar. So you'll notice that I sent you a list of all the names that we have to go. And I've already filled them in for you. But basically, there's first name, last name, email, phone. And for these, we just match them up. So first name goes with first name, last name goes with last name, email goes with email, state goes with, let's see. Well, state goes with state, country goes with country, and you'll notice on these we'll have to change those two. Basically, it has to come on. Basically, it just has to add into here. Let me just drag this over here. Okay, so now you'll notice that the fields are over here. So we'll have to change out state. Just because this is a capital S and we need a lowercase s, so we just add a new field. We call it state. Sorry, STD. Add that field there. We grab the country. And we add this field down here. We just go to add new field, add country. And again, just make sure that these fields on the right-hand side are the same fields that I sent you in this email. So make sure it's the same case and everything else. It's just how it gets sent over to GoToWebinar. It's how they get mapped up. So now once we're done with that, we hit done. And now we're all set. So basically we'll just test it so we can open the Unbounce page. And we can just fill this in. Now, I've already filled it in. Yeah, just auto-fill it. Basically, put your name, first name, last name, email address, state, country, phone number, and I just click book my visit. And again, this is a default page, so it just pulls in whatever we want. But the real magic happens on the GoToWebinar side. So now we can basically see where everything's at. We can go into the test, and you'll see we have one registrant now, which is going to be me. Yep, right here. And you'll notice that when the registrant doesn't show everything on the registrant, it just shows their first name, last name, and email address. So to see everything, you go to Generate Reports. And in here, you just click on the registration report. Clearly, there are other reports here. Now we just click the test one that we had signed up, and let's see, let's make sure it's the right one. I believe it's one with one person. I had created another test before that with some people in it. So now we pull up this report, and we'll see that everything's in here. So my state's in here, my country, US, the phone number's in there, first name, last name, email address. Clearly you can add address, city, industry, organization, role and purchase process, zip code, anything inside of here you can add. But anyway, that's how it goes. I'll talk to you later. Bye.